Hello, everybody. Welcome to Connect HR Hangouts. It's your favorite sizzling host, Babi Mawela. We are on episode 14, season 2, honey. Thank you so much for our returning subscribers, for your loyalty. And if you're new here, welcome. We hope you enjoy our content. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And please click on the notification button so that every time we upload a new episode, you get a notification. In studio today, we've got our Hank, guys.
Oh, what a nice introduction. I like it already.
He goes by the name Lindokuhle Ndlovu Ukatsheni. How are you?
I'm very well. And yourself?
I am excited. So happy to have you here.
Definitely. I'm so glad that you guys decided to, extend the invitation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very happy to be here.
Amazing. It's your time to shine, Lindo. Please let everyone know who Lindo is. Where do you come from? What's your background? It's your moment right now.
Okay, so 31 years old. I am the marketing officer for the Skills Development Corporation. And I'm a Durban boy. So you can imagine how I'm coping in this cold weather, in this cold Joburg weather.
Yeah.
But yeah, I grew up in Durban, born and raised in Durban. And then as the career started happening, getting into the marketing space, strategic brand communications, I then ended up at Vega, which is so I'm a Veganite university. Yeah. And then I didn't settle for the agency life. I went straight to corporate, and I've been lucky to work for really, really conscious, amazing organizations. Yeah. And I just so happened to be at the Skills Development Corporation today, doing the Lord's work.
Doing the Lord's work, yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, Lindo, and we met at the Empower Youth it's not a summit, but it was an event, the Empower Youth event.
In Tembisa,
and yes, you were exhibiting there, presenting a lot of opportunities for the youth. Please just maybe give us a deep or like a broad overview of what STC actually does.
Okay, lovely. I'm so glad that I actually Empower Works is one of our partners.
Oh, nice.
As STC.
Yeah.
And I mean, the doors that it's also just opened for the youth of Tembisa that day.
Yes.
I was just so happy to be there. And you guys just happened to be next to us when we were exhibiting.
Yes, right next to
which was a good indication of us starting the conversation on working together. But more so, we were there to literally speak to the youth in Tembisa, to literally speak about learnerships and to also give opportunity for the young ones, for the young youth of Tembisa to also be on our database.
Yes.
So that one day, soon enough, they can, get learnerships and be one of the learners at STC. So I was so glad that you reached out as well. And we happened to just speak because it seems like we have synergy and we want to achieve the same goals for the youth.
100%.
Yes.
Sure. I love that.
So I'm the marketing officer.
Yeah. Guys, actually, Lindo's very great at what he does. I'm not biased. I'm not biased, but you're really good at what you do. And Lindo, I actually overheard you on the day and on a number of occasions where you speak of the youth being very close to your heart as an organization and offering a lot of opportunities. Where can people firstly access these opportunities? What are the mediums that you use to advertise these learnerships or opportunities rather? And what do these opportunities look like? Learnerships, what is it in depth that you offer? Yeah.
Okay, so where can people access us? Well, one of the mediums for the learners, obviously we cater to unemployed youth, right? Your coloreds, your Indians, your Africans, male and female, and living with disability as well.
Yeah.
That's a space that we pride ourselves in extending what we offer and the courses that we offer. So we have 27 accredited courses, obviously. And we are the leading company with QCTO. But more so, just to answer your question as well, where they can find us is on Facebook. So we have a page on Facebook called the Learner Recruitment Agency, which has got like over 23,000 members. And that's literally organic. And those are the people that search for us and search for opportunities. And that's where you can find us. We also have a TikTok page that's growing.
Okay, nice.
Yes, so it's if you just type in at Skills Development Corp, it's right over there. And we try to be accessible as well by having people walk in our campus, which is on 24 Achter Road in Polshof, in Sandton.
Sandton is the place to be.
Indeed.
Okay, Linda. And you spoke, you briefly touched on QCTO.
Yes.
It's a trending topic in this fraternity.
Right.
If you're in skills development or in any kind of training,
it's
trending right now.
Yes.
What is QCTO? Let's educate the public. What is QCTO and what is it aimed to do in the space, and what's the importance of agencies or training providers to be accredited under this body?
Yes, so I'm aware that a lot of your people that watch the podcast are in business, but there's also those that need things to be just explained in simple terms, right?
100%.
I mean, think of it as the board that regulates the whole industry. So it looks at, okay, how is SDC doing this? Is SDC invested in what they do? Do they go out to the companies where the workplace experience happens? Do they care about the learners? And the standard of the qualifications that our institution, has needs to be regulated. So we are at the forefront, thank goodness. We are so glad. We have such great relationships with our peers in the industry, like yourselves, as well as as well as the seaters themselves. We've just been so blessed over the years to always welcome everybody in our building to host different events, whether it would be the different seaters, your various manufacturing seaters, all the way through to your services seaters.
Yes.
We pride ourselves in having the door open for them to interact, because we do have the capacity of space like that. Now, QCTO has come in and shocked everybody in the industry.
100%. Everyone is just complaining, this QCTO thing.
Yeah. So we've actually been doing some of the things that QCTO requires now, way, way before.
Okay.
I can give you an example, right? So when we take in a learner, right, at the Skills Development Corporation, we take them through learner recruitment agency, which is where the recruitment basically happens. And then what we have there is them doing the interview process, where we have our people speak to the young guys. A lot of them obviously might be illiterate, and some might have difficulties here and there. So that department looks at all of those things, because you want to take on someone that you understand, right? Yes. So that we can cater to them if there's certain needs. So we also have a placement placement department. A placement department that deals with the workplace. So we have our trusted individuals there, Abokunda and so on, who do go out and vet these workplaces, so that our learners are sent to a place where at least so as understand it, who's there with you. It's been vetted. And some in the past we have rejected because of the standard that we want. The experience that our learners must be one that we vetted, right?
Yes.
And so QCTO requires that. QCTO requires that you have someone who's the manager at the workplace to actually know what's going on with the logbook.
Okay, got you.
So we've stepped it up. We even have a digital logbook now to make it easier for the placement partner. Because you can imagine, if you are a manager in a business and you are having a young person come in, join your team, you also have their day-to-day where you have to run the business. So we've made it such an experience where it's like really easy for them to understand and know exactly what the expectations are from them.
No, that's amazing.
Thank you.
And Lindo, I see we're touching a lot on what the business is actually doing. Let's touch on the learner side of things.
Right.
So because we work a lot with skills development agencies, which are our target market, by the way, we work a lot with them. We get to also engage with what they do on a day-to-day basis. We see the patterns, with learners, but we are finding that there is an issue with the youth of South Africa not wanting to actually be employed. Funny enough, we have these opportunities. Some are just not interested. And some are interested, but there are issues like you have mentioned that maybe there's a language barrier, maybe there's that. So how are you currently navigating through all these challenges that I've slightly touched on?
Societal
issues.
issues.
So how are you navigating through all of that?
Right. More than anything, I think you and I touched on relationships and authenticity, right? Which is what I loved about you when I met you, and I recognize that because that's where I come from, the organization I come from. It's real people, and it's just people that also care about the learners. So we are aware that a lot of our learners come from really hectic backgrounds, where they're just happy to get an opportunity to actually get a stipend that will help them. But more than so, I think if you arrive at a place where there's a culture, you sort of, as time goes on, even if unesibindi or awufuna ukufalla into the place, you end up
you
adapt. And I think that's organic. And I've seen it a lot in the organization where young people who've had societal issues, start shaping up because they're seeing their peers with, if I go to the workplace continuously, wow, there's actually other opportunities beyond that where you can get absorbed.
Yes.
Where you can get a top up from the actual placement partner, So we do have a support system in place where we actually have a universal, workplace. The insurance, basically, which we were at an advantage and we were lucky enough. Because we are a group of companies, right? We've got subsidiaries under us. So one of them, which is our FSP, which is wealth, we were lucky enough to sit and think, okay, how do we make life better for the learner themselves? So years ago, we actually formed a partnership where we actually have 365 Rand worth of insurance for each learner, right? And that was done purely from the company, from us, to say, we want to support you. We want, if maybe something's happened or you need to see the doctor, you have unlimited doctor visits. Obviously catering to the differently abled, right? People, so that they don't stand in a line for too long and they just have a way of coping and getting ahead, and focusing on studies, right? So we go beyond more than anything to answer your question. We look at a learner, what is their situation, and what support we can add on. On top of the insurance, we also have internal workshops that we do with the learners, where we try and communicate and reach out to them in ways they understand. For example, Batana Mapiano, so we reach out to them in ways that they understand. The newsletters, obviously, that we also communicate in, and also just, that circle of just family and culture. It goes a long, long way.
Okay. And in terms of demographics, what are the demographics that you're looking for in terms of age, race, gender? Because maybe people think that there's a limitation. And if there is a limitation, maybe we can use this opportunity to explain why maybe a certain demographic would not feature.
Right.
In
It's like, hey? So a lot of the drives that we do when we go into the communities like Soweto, Tembisa and all, or where our learners come from, Emalokshini is literally the question that we get. You can even put a countdown to it. The question that you get would be, okay, but I'm 32 years old. I also want the opportunity. I also need the learnership. What about me? So what we try and do when we plan the drives is to educate more than anything. We use it as an opportunity to educate our people in the community, because the relationship that we're starting is a long-lasting one, where we're going to come back and back again to recruit. So we educate, because that's one way to empower the people. So the right information explaining that, okay, from 18 to 28 years old, fortunately and unfortunately, those are the people we're looking for.
Yeah.
And you have to be unemployed. You know, those are the the other questions that come up. Yeah. So what we try to do as well is involve partners to work with, for example, SA Youth, for example, to say, okay, today we are recruiting for, this is the scope that we're looking for. But also, if you don't fall into the scope, here's a partner who can assist you get a
nice.
job.
Okay.
So you'd find that people would have traveled from very far with their CVs, and they are over the age limit. Unfortunately, then we would say, okay, since you don't fit the criteria, here's where you can try out. You can then create your CV, and they gain valuable information from those sessions.
I love that. And we've recently tried to ease into a partnership where we recently collaborated in advertising an opportunity that you had open.
Yes.
I felt like that was amazing. We advertised the opportunity through the Skills Panda bot. It's called the Panda bot.
Yes.
Where opportunities are advertised on an app, and anyone in the country can access that app and view the opportunities. Based on the performance on that advert, what's your feel around it? Do you think that organizations should look into partnerships like that, where we are making these opportunities as accessible as possible to the youth of South Africa that is in need of employment currently?
Absolutely. I've always been for collaborations instead of, competing all the time, because with collaboration, you really make impact. You create impact. And we were so grateful that you guys, sent out, that post as well. The main thing about what we do in our ethos is making a difference.
Yes.
And through that, there will be testimonies that will come out.
Yes.
At the end of the day, we want to ensure that young people who are unemployed, who are at home, who are brilliant, who are dedicated, we're looking for those characters. We find them. So collaborations, I think we can actually set the standard in the industry to say, if we collaborate more, we make more of an
100%.
impact. And you guys are also operate in the same sphere as well.
Yes.
In the same communities that we go to. So, I mean, it's for the best.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely honored, actually. Thank you.
No, thank you, actually, because because we work closely with one of our biggest clients, which I was explaining to you earlier, Skills Panda.
Yes.
So currently on the bot, we had been advertising opportunities that are Skills Panda related, right? And some obviously didn't qualify for the available opportunities at the time. So what that did is that it opened up more room for people to apply. And by the way, some have given the feedback that they got the opportunity from S2E13. So high five.
Fantastic. High five.
High five.
Nice.
Yeah,
love it.
so
I
love this because the people that I'm also speaking of are our audience.
You're right.
So they're the ones that are watching this episode.
Right.
They want to know more, right? They want to understand the nitty-gritties of programs and qualifying and staying in a program, which is my next topic, by the way.
Okay.
Understanding what does it take for a learner to firstly complete a program and then get absorbed. Because, other people are just jumping from one program to another, but, they don't understand the essence of maybe the importance of being absorbed or making an impact in the organization that they are working in. So maybe provide some advice to the learners who are watching to say, guys, when you get to an organization, what is it that you feel that needs to be done by a learner when they enter the workplace?
100%. I mean, you obviously have insight. That's great. You know what? I would advise that from day one, when you do get a learnership, in fact, when you are looking for a learnership, you need to just have a moment where you speak to yourself as a young person to say, unfortunately, the country is in a dire situation. You need to focus.
Yeah.
From day one. And you know what? It's easy to pick it up from our side if umuntu is focused or not. So showing up is the most important one. Whatever the situation might be that might be happening at home or wherever you come from, at the end of the day, you show up. You show up, you do your best, and that's all we ask for. So making sure that whatever is required in terms of the documents, in terms of the days that you are given to go to class, obviously because it is 70%, right? Workplace and 30% theory.
Yes.
So you need to show up and you need to make sure that your logbook is up to par.
Yeah.
Make sure that whatever your facilitator might have given you to complete at home, you are able to complete.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what we all do. We all came from that background. Say, even in a university, you need to do your part, which is showing up and doing your best. So coming into the building itself and realizing that it's more than just about you, that there's other learners who are differently abled is another, you know, something that one has to kind of look around and say, you know what, this is a huge opportunity. Also, ethically, you need to suck yourself up to be the person that the boss wants to hire. Yeah. So the moment that you're in class is the moment that you are literally in the workforce.
Yes.
And that's a type of attitude you need to have. So that when we say, oh, your workplace is actually about 30 kilometers from you, because that's another thing that we do. We try and make sure their workplace is closer to where they stay.
Is not,
exactly, so that they can spend accordingly and properly on their transport via their stipend.
100%.
100%. So everything is thought through. All you need to do as a learner is show up, do your best, and complete your tasks. And then from there on, wow, I mean, you can even be absorbed by the workplace partner. That's all it takes. Yeah.
You know, they like I have a problem with the youth because I think they think that it starts here and it ends here. And you know, that's why I asked that question, because I needed them to understand the importance of showing up, as you have just mentioned now.
100%.
It makes such a difference. I remember I was once an intern at a large corporate, and the way you show up, like, you need to be memorable.
Absolutely.
You need to, so that you're considered when, you know, those conversations are had.
Yes.
You know, like, hey, Mara, that Lindo character, I like the way they walk in. I like the way they present themselves in meetings. So it's bigger than just being on a learnership or being in an internship, which I really like. Lindo, let's just take a 5-minute break.
100%.
And we will be back with part 2 of the episode.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you.
Kungabe khona engizisola ngakho. Hayi, angicabanga kanjalo.
Such things happen unexpectedly.
The process of document submissions can be annoying sometimes.
Work is always tense, but there's always a reward at the end.
Having personal obligations is not always a bad thing.
Mommy, are you going to be able to take me to the doctor?
Of course, my baby.
Elithuba engilitholileyo lenze isimo singafani nakuqala.
Loving what you do sometimes doesn't feel like a job.
Using modern day technologies has made document submissions easier.
Being part of your community creates a safe space not only at work, but also at home.
Welcome back, everybody. I am still with Lindokuhle in studio, and we have been touching on a lot of topics: skills development, learner readiness. We've also touched on a little bit of QCTO. We hope that so far you have taken a lot from this episode, and we're about to continue with more important information. As we continue.
Yes.
Lindo, you've been speaking about a logbook, right?
Right.
And again, we work with various skills development agencies, and they didn't understand why our system, for example, has a timesheet. So we have a timesheet
Beautiful.
on our system where learner checks in, checks out. Literally, that's the job.
Beautiful.
And learners feel like it's a tedious task. They don't understand the bigger picture of why
Right.
there's an existence of a timesheet or a logbook. Let's touch on that, number one. And in addition to that, let's touch on how a learner needs to show up in the first week.
Right. Work
You know,
readiness
induction,
program. Yes.
work readiness. That's a
Yes.
trending topic, by the way, in this fraternity.
Absolutely.
A lot of corporates are complaining that, yes, you're bringing in talent in our organization, but they don't have work readiness because a lot of students are coming straight from school, going
Right.
to an org. So give
Right.
us your
So-
insights on that.
So it's interesting that it's a trending topic indeed, because you know what, it's quite important to have a young person who's just finished matric. Some of them, you know, are come from very far and etc. But at the end of the day, what we try and do after induction is obviously that week where we do, you know, go into how you're supposed to handle yourself and behave. You know, how you're supposed to look.
Yeah.
You know, how you're gonna present yourself.
Yeah.
How you're gonna sell yourself. Ukuthi, hey, I'm a young person, I'm here. I might not know much, but I want to stay here and I want an opportunity. Yeah. So we try and revive in the way that they can understand. So we've got our amazing Tina, who actually was also a learner herself.
Oh,
right?
nice.
Yeah. So we try to develop people up until the point where we can even absorb them and have them speak to our learners as well. So I would say that the work readiness program does go a long way,
Yes.
because we teach that a way in which you can handle yourself. But we also have that family-like relationship where we create a safe space for them to be able to tell us once they start with their work, with their workplace, to be able to be comfortable enough with our facilitators and us to say, hey, like a review back to say, I'm reporting that, hey, okay, my first week is going so well. I'm learning 1, 2, 3. And that creates that conversation between them in class. To that trust.
Yes.
Right? So we are very big on that, on wanting to know what's happening around in we motivate the facilitators to say, hey, find out in the WhatsApp group that you have, what are the challenges? How can we make it better? And obviously the placement department being able to have a chat back and forth with the placement partner gives us that insight as to how Nonjabulo is doing.
Yeah.
Is Nonjabulo showing up or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we also, have, the reporting as well of knowing, was Nonjabulo there at that time? If not, what was the challenge? So that we create that swift relationship with the placement partner.
Yeah.
Because it goes a long way.
100%.
Yeah, those relationships with the placement partner will take on the next batch of students the following year. And you want to have somebody coming from STC to represent the brand very well. Yeah, so we are very big on that. Yeah. I treat them like when I do speak to them, like my little sisters and brothers.
Yeah.
Because I want them to win. I want them to show up with the right attitude and the right heart.
Sure. Who's Nonjabulo?
I normally...
No, I'm kidding. I'm pulling your leg.
Oh, great.
There are two more things I want to touch on, which I think spark my interest, because for me, it's a concern. There are key concern areas for me. One being the issue of placement, because I feel that sometimes there's a gap. Sometimes the learner doesn't understand that there's a funder and there's a host.
Right.
Then there's a little bit of an attitude,
Yes.
like I've seen it.
Yeah.
I've seen it where, they get to a placement partner or a host where, they're just there, So maybe let's make them understand what the relationship is, what the bigger picture is here.
Right. So you have a sponsor. Amazing sponsor. We love the sponsor. As a learner, potential learner, you have to love the sponsor.
You have to appreciate the sponsor.
Yeah. So we've got your sponsor, and then you've got SDC in the middle, who would then take care of you. We do the day shift.
Yeah.
We do the day shift where you do arrive in the building and have the facilitators, and you have a whole life in between where you report to SDC, you clock in and you clock out basically. And where you learn a lot, obviously, with the qualifications and insights and so on. And then obviously you have the workplace.
Yeah.
What is the aim of learnership? It's for you to get employment or start eventually your own business, but to equip you with the tools, the right information, and the right attitude.
Yeah.
Attitude is a huge one, right? So you go into the workplace, but you need to represent and know what the goal is.
100%.
And ongenayo goal uyakwazi ukubona ukuthi la ngathi no usadinga mhlambe
I got that goal.
So we try to ensure that we are very vocal about our learners going in there with the right attitude and coming out there with at least potential for them to get employment. We want the workplace, we want the partner to call us. That's the intention, to say, hey, your learners are brilliant.
Yes.
Even if we can't hire them, please, we know someone else who's hiring. Because the main aim is for every one of our learners to develop their lives and have, the funds to feed their family.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're touching on host organizations. I want to get to my last question because that one, that's the touchy one. But this question I want to say, Jorge, so you find that with placement partners, let's say the sponsor is a finance company.
Right.
Yet the placement partner is a law firm.
Right.
So there's a little bit of a misalignment there. So how are you currently bridging those gaps? Are you, when you in your vetting process, are you linking the sponsor with the right organ? How does it work? And what is your reasoning for your methodology in that regard?
So we are very learner-centric as well. From the beginning, either we would have met a learner through in the community where we go into, or either the organizations that we work with. So by the time the learner does the interview and writes the assessment, passes, we've sort of gained what the person's about.
So it's like a psychometric, no?
You could say it's like a psychometric, but the main aim is for you to pass and get in.
Okay.
The test or the assessment is prepared in such a way that it's we want you to come in, but we want to know are you the vocal type of a person, so that uzowenza leadership that's suitable for the kind of person that you are. We obviously explain the expectations from you. In the whole industry, the learners are normally very excited by stipends.
Yes.
Sorry. That right?
Yeah.
So we try at our utmost best to vet properly.
Yeah.
So our vetting process is quite a lengthy one. But once the learner is in, we explain the sort of expectations from both ends, right? And them knowing who their sponsor is quite important because obviously, pride comes out in a person.
Yeah.
That's what we look for different personalities, And these young men and women end up, working very closely with the sponsors. So when we have an opportunity for the sponsors to even come on campus, see how their learners are doing, we capitalize on that as well. Obviously, you find different sponsors and clients who some care more and some, will extend in different ways. But what I'm trying to say is that we go beyond and each client has a specific way of working and obviously they are learners as well. So we are very big on relationship merging of relationships.
Nice.
Understanding what the client does. Understanding how activations can, better reach the learner. So that by the time the learner is almost done and finished with their logbook and the learnership itself, they've already started having that creative mindset and wanting to do more. So I would say the growth of a character through the learnership is a decider on how well they do.
Okay.
You want to have the learners captivated the whole time. So you want to have a culture within the campus that's as reflective and as transparent for the client.
Yeah.
Yes.
Amazing. And we also touched on differently abled people.
Differently
I
abled.
love how you actually say that, because everyone says disabled,
Right.
and which speaks to my next question, because you find that someone is differently abled and they are aware, but they're
Yes.
afraid to disclose because there's kind of like a stigma
A stigma behind it, yes.
behind being differently abled, whereas
Yes.
they're denying themselves of an opportunity that is made available to them just because they don't want to disclose.
Absolutely.
So let's touch on what is a differently abled person,
right.
and how these opportunities benefit our fellow differently able people.
Yes. So we are just, it's very close to our hearts as an organization to work with organizations that assist, previously disadvantaged people and the less marginalized, So people living with who are differently abled are out there looking for opportunities. So we literally have tried every single way to get to them. And there's only so much of them, That's why in the industry across the board, the abled individuals will say, why are disabled people getting opportunities faster? So one of the ways that we try and educate there, and remember I said earlier, when we go into the communities, we have sessions of education. Because to your point as well, some might be visible or be physically challenged, but you might find that some are literally not knowing that, they are depressed, not knowing what qualifies as a differently abled person.
Yes.
So with that said, we go beyond in the vetting process, but the education part, where we take up a lot of time to educate. And I would say that's where our impact is.
Yeah.
We've had, from communities, parents who thank us because the education gives people in the community power to say, you know what, ingane kasbanban actually seems like might be having the same condition, to break out the stigma. But it needs a safe space for that to happen.
100%.
Right. And we try and create that in the halls that we go to, the partners that we have. For example, your city of Joburg, we have great partnership with them because of us understanding the societal issues.
Yeah.
And they do as well. They actually are huge on their campaigns with stigmas, in the location. Obviously, substance abuse, you have your, your GBV, all of those issues need a platform where people can talk about. But whilst you open that platform, you also have an opportunity to educate. And then you'll have parents and you'll have the people of the community telling you that actually, I know someone who's suffering with this. And then it's a safe space. Understandably.
Sure.
Obviously, it differs as well. So you have different societal issues in different communities. For example, in Ennerdale, the issues there are different to the ones that are in Soweto.
Yes.
Yes. So you need to also read the room as well, read the location as to, and that also is about knowing the councillors of the area. So
Sure.
Geez, I'm giving you tips here.
Yeah, no. Luckily, we're not in the same business. But
Luckily.
yes, no. No, I hear you, because again, this is also something very close to our heart, because Connect HR not only offers a system,
Right.
but we also have to understand the different needs of a learner and equally of the agency itself, because our system speaks to that to help bridge the gap in some way. So I ask you these questions because firstly, we also on a constant, the word is right here on the tip of my tongue, but on your
research.
we're researching, so this is a way of researching and finding out, how can we better ourselves, to
Right.
assist both agencies and learners.
Beautiful. I
and-
love that you said learners as well.
Learners, because those are our clients over and above,
Absolutely.
So, Lindo, this was amazing.
Oh,
This
great.
was very amazing. And where can people find you on social media?
Right. So social media, obviously SDC on Instagram, the Skills Development Corporation, as well as on LinkedIn as well. We are quite a huge group, and we post a lot, as well as on TikTok as well. So at Skills Development Corp. Yeah, that's where we
Amazing.
are.
And I think we'll be visiting you soon, so that we can show everybody what you do, where you actually do it, and get
Yes.
to meet some of your teammates.
Can't
So
wait.
please look forward to that, as it's going to feature on our podcast. And we look forward to hearing your feedback on this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. Lindo, thank you so much for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you.
Let us know what you think about the episode. I am very excited to know. Looking forward to seeing you on the next one. Signing out, it's your favorite sizzling host, Babi Mawela. See you next time.
Thank you.